Hello and welcome back to FATT's Homestead. Amanda here, and I thank you for joining us today. As promised, I've got you the fermented hot sauce thing going on here today. What I'm doing now is I'm cleaning my peppers up. What I'm going to do, even though I have a filter on my sink, I'm going to wash these with the distilled water from a gallon jug, store-bought distilled water, because I don't trust the filter enough to even take enough chlorine out. That could potentially kill the lactobacillus that you're going to be needing to cause this stuff to ferment, and all you'll get is like rotten peppers, and they'll smell really bad. I had the same thing kind of happen to me with some cabbages when I attempted to make sauerkraut. I washed the cabbages in the regular water coming out of my tap. I think that's what the culprit was on causing the sauerkraut to go bad. So I'm pulling the stems off of these peppers, and I'm going to wash them with the distilled water. I'm going to make I have already made a 3% brine solution, and I'm going to tell you, I found some really good information on the web for doing that. The best way to do that, in my humble opinion, is to use convert everything to metric for this. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to convert, what I do is I convert a gallon to liters, and that comes to 3.78 liters. Okay, you get 3.78 and you multiply that times 1,000 because you're converting it to milliliters instead. So you got 3,780 milliliters. Okay, so with your gallon, if you want to make a 2% brine, what you're going to do is you're going to take your milliliters, which is 3,780, and multiply that times 0.02. Or if you want to make a 3% brine, what you do is you multiply that by 0.03, and so on and so forth. What I've done is made a 3% brine solution, and I multiplied the milliliters 3,780 times 0.03. Then when you get that number, what you're going to do is you're going to use that many grams of salt, okay? And the only way I know to tell you to be able to measure out grams and salt is for you to actually go and purchase a scale like this one right here. And this one's dirty. I don't know how it got so dirty. And yes, I'm putting it on film even though it's dirty. Okay? So what you're going to do, and I've already made my solution up, it's sitting in my pantry, is you're going to measure out 75.6 grams of salt. Now, with your salt, this is very important. Do not use iodized salt because that will also kill the lactobacillus bacteria that you're trying to use to ferment with. You're going to need to use a salt that does not have iodine in it. As far as that goes, you can use any kind of salt. You can use cannon salt, you can use table salt that's non-iodized. I like to use pink Himalayan salt because it has all 82 trace elements in it, or trace minerals in it. I don't know if that's all that there is, but it has 82 in there. So we're going to get started on that, and you hear my sister in the background. She's here today with me, and she's going to be helping me with some of this stuff. But we thank you for joining us. I'm going to continue on cleaning up these peppers. I'm going to put them just in a regular, like, half-gallon pickle jar that I have that's been cleaned up with the lid and stored with the lid on it. And then it's going to go in that brine solution that I was telling you about. But try that with the brine solution, changing everything. I know here in the U.S. we're used to pints and quarts, but if you will convert everything to metric, it does really simplify a lot for you. Okay, so here's our peppers, and here is our distilled water. I'm kind of just pouring it in there so that I can swish these guys around and get them all cleaned up. I've got clean hands. I will take them directly from the distilled water, put them directly into my clean pickle jar that I'm repurposing. And we're not going to can these. These are just going to stay in our refrigerator. Ferments, I've been told, can stay in your refrigerator after you get the fermentation process done for up to a year. You might want to burp it every once in a while so that it doesn't explode. I don't think that it's going to ferment any further once you put it in your 40-degree refrigerator. So there's the peppers. And none of these have been cut open, so you can see I'm not wearing gloves or anything like that. I just de-stemmed them. Catch the little boogers. And I have more peppers turning red at the same time while we're making this video. And what I'll do is I'll just keep adding those peppers that are turning red out there as we go. Okay, that was washing them off in the nice distilled water. Okay, we washed them off in the distilled water. Okay, now okay, this is, in my opinion, the best way to make you a brine solution is whatever percent you're wanting to do. Like I said, convert it to metric. Do that math where you're using the milliliters, multiplying it times the percentage that you want, and then that's how much salt that you add in the amount of grams on your little kitchen scale things that you can purchase anywhere. I got mine at Walmart. I'm sure you can purchase them anywhere. So this has been previously mixed up. I had it stored in my pantry. I label it. I'm a labeler. I like to keep things labeled, so you'll know exactly what it is that you're getting. And I'm just going to cover these up. Okay. From here, you can see that when I put that water in, that these peppers, they all floated up to the top. So what I'm going to attempt to do is find something that I can set down in there on top of that that's going to keep those peppers pressed down. And I'll be back to show you what I find. I'm going to locate something right now. Here is what I was able to find. This is a quart freezer bag. Why? You do not want to use metal. You can use glass or plastic. Now what I went on and done, just in case this thing springs a leak, which can happen. Okay, if this thing springs a leak, I filled it with the brine, the 3% brine solution, just in case, you know, that way your brine's not diluted down whenever this bag leaks. So you can always be resourceful and make improvisions to be able to do any of this stuff that you need to do. You don't have to have very expensive equipment. You know, it's nice if you can afford to go out and buy all that stuff, but you know, most people who are doing this are having to be very frugal and are on a very limited budget. So we make do. We do the best we can with what we have to do it with here at FATT's Homestead. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and shove this in here and turn the camera off. It says that I'm about to be out of battery to record, so I'll be back with you. Okay folks, and so here's your peppers. They're going to ferment in that jar, like I said, for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll either do this vlog style and I'll bring you back and show you the rest of making the peppers, or I may just give you the rest of the instructions from here. After these ferment, what you're going to do is you're going to take and strain the peppers, but keep your brine solution so that you can thin this out so that you'll be able to make it into an actual sauce that's pourable. You're going to put those in a food processor, a blender, so that you can blend them up to a liquid type form, and then you'll thin them back out with your brine solution that you have left over. Now you may get, like up here around here, some white gum looking stuff. That's perfectly okay. Okay? You're just going to clean that off and then just go with it. And I think this is like a really great thing to use, because I think it's got many health benefits. First of all, peppers are very high in vitamin C. That's good for your immune system. They open up your sinuses, okay? And then also you're getting the ferment, the bacteria, the lactobacillus. So you got three-way powerful little thing. It's like food that's medicine here. You see what I'm saying? It's like way more bang for your buck to fix hot sauce this way. Welcome to FATT's Homestead. Amanda here, and today I'm going to be putting together a video on how to make fermented hot sauce out of peppers from our garden that we grew and allowed to turn red. I have been fermenting these peppers for 3 weeks now. Okay. And they're fermented. I made a 3% brine solution that I mentioned before. When I initially put those in there to ferment, I don't have any fancy fermentation equipment because, you know, this is something I want to make sure that I like it and that my family will actually eat it, and I'm hoping that they do, since the benefits are so great for eating these fermented foods. I think this is going to be exceptionally healthy, especially for this time of year, since we're going to be going into cold and flu season. Because you know, really hot peppers like that help open up your sinuses and everything. And B, peppers contain a really high amount of vitamin C, which is really helpful to help boost your immune system. And C, because, you know, like I said, there's some really good benefits to having these beneficial bacteria for your body. Myself being a registered lab technician, I know a lot about microbes, probably more than your typical layperson. But we mainly focused in, you know, on bad microbes. So the concept of, you know, actually trying to put stuff in on purpose, you know, is a little bit of a new concept for me. Even though, you know, we did have to study that during our training. You know, when you get in the field, you're mainly going to be studying or mainly going to be, you know, trying to locate, you know, bad microbes that make people sick. But these are good microbes, and I'm excited to be making this. After doing a little bit of research on a fermented hot sauce, I've decided to go ahead and add some apple cider vinegar to it to give it more of that hot saucy taste that you're used to with the acidity. I'm using an organic apple cider vinegar that's unfiltered and unpasteurized, rich in enzymes. This is going to make your product a little bit more shelf stable, but it will have to go into the refrigerator. Now, back in olden days, they did use fermentation as a way to store stuff long term, but they would place it after, or it maybe even during the fermentation process, in their root cellars. Some things they would bury underground, all kinds of things. And you hear stories sometimes about old timers digging stuff up and it blowing up on them and stuff. This should not blow up as long as you keep it in your refrigerator, because that 40-degree temperature is going to keep any more of the bacteria or the microbes from multiplying. So I'm not too much worried about that. But I was so excited about these bottles that I got when I got them. I got these at the Dollar Tree like a few months ago, so I don't think that you could get them there now. Anyways, my intentions was to make probiotic soda in these. I have not done that yet. I've been, you know, focused on preserving our harvest here at FATT's Homestead. So I'm going to go ahead and use these bottles because I think these will be really nice to put our fermented hot sauce in. What you're going to want to do is have something to put your sauce in after you get it finished. And I've never made this, so I'm going to let everybody know how it turns out. It should be ready to consume as soon as I get done with it. So I'll let you know how all this turns out. Okay, you have your fermented peppers. You're going to want to strain this off. And I was instructed that if you have white stuff on the top, like that, I don't know if you can see that, that you would want to skim that off. But I have such a small amount of it, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so I'm going to move my blender a little bit out of the way, and I'm going to pour my peppers in this strainer. And it has fermented. It's bubbling a whole lot, so that helps me to reserve my liquid there, so that I can add it to make my hot sauce an actual sauce. Okay. Oh, and something else that I did read that I wanted to mention here. You can see that I left every one of my peppers whole. I think that you would have better success with them staying submerged if you done like I read and actually sliced your peppers in half. Okay, I left mine whole. It was hard to keep these submerged. So into the food processor they go. Adding. That ended up being more peppers than what I thought it looked like coming out of that other jug. Anyhow, gonna get rid of this colander. Okay, I'm going to go about, I think about a cup at a time. I'm going to do a cup of this brine. There we go. And I'm going to put a cup of the apple cider vinegar. Now, I may not need both of these bottles once this all gets blended down. I just got two in case. Okay, and to that, I'm going to add a little bit of this minced garlic. baby?
Happy.
Why are you happy?
Bye.
I'm going to add a good bit of the minced garlic because I like it. Okay. We're fixing to go to pulps in this as soon as I can figure out how to shut this back up and see what we get. It's going to be loud. Okay, I'm going to pause right there and see if I like what we got. I'm going to taste this on camera and let you see my reaction to it. Tasting spoon. Feels kind of thick. It smells hot. Okay. Here we go. Woo! That is spicy, y'all. That is going to open up your sinuses right there for sure. Yeah, it won't take much of that. I'm thinking maybe I should dilute it down just a hair, maybe. Yeah. Take this off. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to dilute it down some more with garlic and apple cider vinegar. And this may not even fit into these 2 bottles now that I look. I may have to go get another bottle. Since it is kind of thick, it's not going to matter that I'm diluting it down some. So, okay, there is a cup more of apple cider vinegar. And a cup more. Alright, let's try this. Let's blend this now. Oh yeah, folks, this stuff is working. My sinuses are open, open, open. So here I am going to try this again right now. On camera again. My mouth's still burning from a while ago. It is a more pourable consistency now to where you could put it on your food to liven it up. But probably in very small amounts. Let's try this. Oh yeah, the garlic's showing up a lot better now. This is really good. I think I'm really going to enjoy this. Yeah, I'm glad I made this. So, I was a little bit fearful, like I said, of making this. Maybe that's not the right choice of words. Concerned about letting food what a lot of people would consider letting it spoil. But, excuse me. I think this is going to be a really good hot sauce. I think that I, for one, will enjoy it. I don't know about the rest of my family. But like I said, I like hot sauce on my eggs and my cooked greens. Different things, and I'm sure I will find some additional uses for the hot sauce, because whenever I make something, I like to try to eat it as much as what I can. I was in the process of going ahead and bottling this up, and I had actually ended the video, but I decided to make it a more pretty red color that I'm going to go ahead and add, because if you look on a lot of your bottled hot sauces, they have a little bit of tomato puree or whatever in there. I have some double concentrated tomato paste. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of that in here so that it will make the flavor just a little bit more mild and palatable. And I'm going to go ahead and taste it again on the screen for you guys. Grab a spoon. All right, here we go again. Oh yeah, that made the difference. It gave it a little bit more of a tartness too. I like this. This is a good hot sauce. I'm anxious now to have something to put it on. I'm trying to think what I'm having for supper tonight. I don't think it'd go good on what I'm having for supper tonight, but I will be trying it on something real soon. Just straight out of the blender. Yes, it's a win. So, you guys, don't be scared. Try this hot sauce, this fermented hot sauce. It's going to be real good for you and your family. Yeah. But y'all, I thank y'all for joining us today, and let me know what you think about fermenting. If you'd like to see some more videos on fermenting, I can definitely bring you along as I learn on this journey of doing the fermented foods and stuff. If you like this video, found it helpful, give us a thumbs up. Also, we hope that you would consider subscribing to our channel. But until next time, we pray that God bless you and keep you, and y'all come back and see us. Bye.